That Deep Silence by Punyakante Wijenaike. Punyakante Wijenaike, one of Sri Lanka's best-known English writers, was born in Colombo, where she has lived for most her life. Her writing is recognized for its simple yet powerful style, which holds the reader's attention. She published her first collection of short stories, The Third Woman, in 1963. Since then, she has published 6 novels and 4 collections of short stories, with more than 100 stories published in newspapers, journals, and anthologies locally and internationally, as well as broadcast in Sri Lanka and on BBC. Although she has spent most her life in Colombo city, she began by writing about Sri Lanka's rural areas, only later turning to urban themes. Wijenaike's writings often highlight the tyranny of a community or a group toward its weaker members. Her 1998 novel, An Enemy Within, uncovers the masks that tend to hide the reality of present times. Her novel, Giraya, was adapted into a teledrama. She was awarded the internationally recognized Women of Achievement Award in 1985 and was honored for her literary achievements by the Sri Lankan government in 1988. In 1994, Wijenaike won the Grecian Prize for her novel Amulet, and in 1996, the Commonwealth Short Story Competition for Radio, along with a joint winner from Sierra Leone. That Deep Silence is a short, reflective piece that renders the sorrows of an old woman who is packed off to a home for the aged. It is written in the form of a monologue involving the narrator and the audience, whereby 2 other characters, their acts, and the depth of their implication on the life of the narrator begin to emerge. The sun smiles at me from outside the closed window. Ratna closed it at dawn, before the workmen came to demolish the remaining portions of my house. If the window had been left open as in the old days, the gentle rays of the morning sun would have warmed my old, shivering, withered body. Nature does not abandon a body until the breath leaves it. Man is different. I am living in just a quarter of what was my home, my bedroom, my kitchen, and my toilet. The rest of the house is gone. We had not been rich people, my husband and I, just hardworking. We had saved money and bought this piece of land at a very reasonable price in 1952. We had been proud to own a quarter of grassland in Kotte, which had a history. We had built a small but comfortable single-storied house right in the middle of the block of land. 2 bedrooms, one for ourselves and one for our daughter Rushika. We had left open space right around our house so that we could get the breezes blowing in from the Divyana Oya. We could see the trees around us and the birds that nested in them. Moreover, we had grass growing right around us, keeping our feet cool. A single-storied house meant that we would not need to climb stairs when we grew older and our knees became feeble. Ratna, my maid, tells me that my dream has gone, demolished now to the last brick, except for this bedroom, which will be the last to go. In its place, a foundation has already been laid for a 4-storied apartment block, which will cover the whole land area, leaving only a small courtyard just enough for a tiny patch of grass and a bird bath. But how are birds going to exist without trees? Land is precious in this area, madam, Ratna tells me. You are very lucky to have got 40 perches at such a low price in 1952. Now that the parliament is situated here by the Divyana Oya, land has become really precious. Rushika, my daughter, comes in. She wears a very bright smile on her face as if to replace the warmth of the sun. This house I had gifted to her as my only child, expecting her to carefully preserve it as it was and look after me in my old age. I had foolishly gifted it at once without retaining the life interest for myself. Amma, we will be moving you today into the home for the aged. Auntie Sushila says you will be very happy there, in the company of other people of your age. Imagine, Amma, you living all alone in the house with Ratna. How are you going to manage when she goes on leave? In that home, you will have everything you need to be comfortable. There are trained nurses there to look after you if you fall ill. There will be a matron to see to your needs. Today, they will be breaking down the slash room, the kitchen and the toilet. We would like you to be spared having to breathe in the dust from the demolition. I want to die with my house. I spoke suddenly. I want to die where your father died. Why should I be moved into a home for the aged to die? Amma, what is this you're saying? You are not going to die. You are just going to move into a comfortable home much bigger than this house. I looked again out of my window. Each time I look at my ruined garden, my heart breaks. My flowering bushes have been trampled down and smothered by cement dust from the housebreaking, and the little brick pathway that her father built is now no more. The bench on which he and I used to sit and watch small Rishika rolling about on the green grass is no more. The pond with the fish is gone. Madam, you could grow flowers in pots. Surely there will be sufficient space for pots in the new home, Ratna said. Rishika was busy packing the family portraits into a cardboard box. Pictures of our house and garden and the life of my husband and our family treasured throughout the years. The family was what I had lived for, not isolation in material comfort. It was love, warmth, and caring, each one looking out for the other, sharing meals, sharing life. The foundation of life was the family and the house, and now it was breaking up to be transformed into high rises and apartments. Her husband in one photograph smiles reassuringly at me. He was a quiet person, but a man of deep strength and understanding. Couldn't he step out of that picture and speak to our daughter on my behalf? But he waits in deep silence as he is packed away into the box. Auntie Macy and Uncle Willie, my sister-in-law and her husband, please speak to her. Tell her of the agony I am in, having to give up this, the last room of our once happy home. But Auntie Macy and Uncle Willie only smile helplessly in their frames. Am I dying then? Am I going into that cardboard box along with them? My daughter and Ratna seize the handles of my chair firmly and wheel me out of my door. I am wheeled out of my room for the last time. I pass my ruined garden and the grass that is no longer green. I am pushed into her car like a zombie who is dead. Ratna climbs into the front seat beside my daughter. Once I have been delivered like a parcel of old bones to the matron at the home for the aged, Ratna will return to her village with a handsome financial bonus paid to her by my only daughter. Soon we will reach the home. I am wheeled into it by my daughter, with Ratna carrying my bags. Ratna tries to feed me, but I cannot eat. I keep seeing the demolition squad moving in on the remnants of what was once my home. Around me, I see lots of old women watching me in silent sympathy as my daughter wheels me into a large, comfortable room with a wide bed and a single window opening out into a cement courtyard without any grass. My daughter sits on my new bed. She strokes the few white hairs remaining on my head. You will very soon feel quite at home here, Amma, she says reassuringly. I wanted my daughter to touch me, to hold me, and to take me back into her own home, which she shared with her husband and my grandchildren. I needed to feel the love, warmth, and caring of my own family surrounding me. I will hang all the old photographs around the walls of this room, said my daughter. Soon you will begin to feel it as your own home. All those old ladies will become your good friends and you will never feel lonely again. You wait and see. I hear Ratna's voice laughing and joking, perhaps having a cup of tea with the matron who will soon be taking charge of my life. Suddenly my daughter put her arms round me and hugged me. She gave me the grapes, the oranges and the apples she had brought with her. I wanted to ask her if she would be coming to see me often. I wanted to stroke her head the way I used to when she was a little child and crying in distress, but I did not. A deep silence held me in its grip. A silence which had descended on me when she first began breaking down my home to build a condominium which could be rented out so she could make money, when she failed to invite me to share her home and be part of the family as a mother and grandmother. That deep silence had held me in its grip. It would have to continue to hold me and sustain me through my new lonely life ahead.